today's episode, we have a quick announcement regarding the FX Sniper Championship. My focus again is on the dollar with some potential setups on Aussie and Loonie. Karaba looks at a short setup on Nasdaq. EXE has some more insight into Bitcoin. And as always, some highlights from the FX War Room. Enjoy. Welcome to another weekly market review with FX price action setups. Just a quick announcement before we jump into the setups. I did want to announce the opening of the FX Sniper Championship, but we are just finalizing a few details, and hopefully a little bit later in the week we will open the entries for the FX Sniper Championship. If you guys want more info, I've put the info in the description below, so just click on the link to get a little bit more information. But if you guys want to get ready, we are using these 6 brokers, so you can sign up with any of these 6 brokers to take part in the FX Sniper Championships. But like I say, there's more info to follow, but for now, let's jump into the setups. Good day, guys. This week, again, focusing on the dollar. I've been focusing on the dollar for the last 2 weeks, and things are setting up really nicely. So I'm just going to run through the dollar again, and then we're going to look at some more dollar setups this week. Last week we did mark off this little weekly order block on the dollar, and we did expect this one to hold. And I do believe if this holds, that we're going to come much lower on the dollar. And I think we're even going to break these lows up to this level down here. Now there's a couple of reasons, except the technical reasons. There are some fundamental reasons I also believe this. One, the trade war that's happening right now. And if you guys have a look at the stock market right now, it's busy collapsing, and I think there's a lot more pressure on the stock market. And the only way for the Fed to sort of save the stock market or to save this world from a recession is pretty much to devalue the dollar. And they can do that in one of 2 ways, by cutting interest rates aggressively or by printing more money. Both of these scenarios will lead to a weaker dollar. And as I've mentioned before, Trump has been calling for a weaker dollar for quite a while now. We did print these nice double tops last week, and we did catch a very nice long in the Euro USD thanks to some great calls by members in our trading room. But next week we're going to look at some more setups on the dollar. Alright, I'm going to start us off on Aussie dollar US dollar weekly chart, and just zooming out a bit, as you guys can see here, and I'd just like to point out that when we trade the market from a price action point of view, we normally have two ways that the market moves, either in a corrective fashion or in an impulsive fashion. As you guys can see, the market had an impulse up here, made a correction, and had another impulse up here. At the top here, we had quite a big consolidation or correction. We had an impulse. Then we had another correction, and we had an impulse. And I believe ultimately we're going to come down to these lows over here. But there's absolutely no momentum to get the market here. The market did have a correction at this point here. But if this was the complete correction, the market would have dropped in an impulsive fashion to these lows. And this is not happening over here right now. If I can just clean up this chart a bit. So therefore, I'm expecting that this market will make a bigger correction in the form of a expanding flat before we'll ultimately come down to these lows. Just drawing a fib on this chart, I believe it'll be quite easy for us to get to, at the very least, to this 38% fib retracement before we're going to continue down. So that is quite a big move that we're expecting to the upside. Alright, jumping to the 4-hour time frame, it's now for the first time that it looks like this market is now busy with an impulse, with a correction for upside. As this market came down, we did reach this 161 extension of this move up. So it's quite a nice little potential or price action zone that we can look for some reversals. After that, we had the impulse, and I believe that we are now forming a correction. And the level I will be watching next week is a move down perhaps to this 78 fib, but pretty much anything below these lows, I'll be hunting 15-minute reversal setups. And then if all goes to plan, we'll get a nice little tight entry, and we can run this trade for the better part of the year. Alright, so the level I will be focusing on next week, hopefully we'll get to below these lows over here. And over here, we'll find a little bit of a reversal pattern to go long. But there is obviously the possibility, especially with the trade war going on and all the pressure on China, the more pressure China is on, the more pressure the Aussie dollar will be on, and we could actually go a little bit lower. That's why I'm not going to be using a set and forget order here. I will be, setting an alert when we get to this area, and if we do see price action on a slower time frame, then we'll look to get in. So yeah, definitely one to put on the watch list next week. Alright, the next setup I want to go through is USDCAD, and I've done the analysis on this in previous episode, but I'm just going to quickly run through the basics. On the weekly time frame here, we had this impulsive move down, the correction. We had the impulsive move down, and then this 7-wave correction, and now I expect another move down. Switching to the daily time frame. Again, here on the daily time frame, this last wave also again a seven wave swing. And if you guys can remember, we actually caught this short right at the top here. We took a bit of profit on these lows, but the remainder we're going to be holding, and hopefully we can catch those lows all the way to the bottom. Now the two scenarios I'm looking at is either for this market to come straight down to our targets, or potentially at least take these lows, forming this correction before we go for these highs one more time and then come down. But there'll be a big enough move for us to take some profit again here, and then we will have two short setups, one over here and hopefully one over here, and then we can hopefully run the free trades lower. Now, because I'm expecting a big move, I do expect another trick up the market sleeves before we come down. And I did mark off this little green area. This is where I will be hunting for the shorts. We did print these nice clean highs on the Canadian dollar, and I think somewhere either during US dollar or Canadian news, we will come higher, run these highs, and then hopefully over here we'll find our reversal. And then we can short, maybe first target at these lows, and then we can let the rest run for the bigger targets. Those are my setups for the week, guys. I see you in the trading room.
Good day, traders. Welcome to our weekly market analysis. The instrument I'm looking at is the Nasdaq on the 2-hour time frame. Now, on Friday, we had this strong move away from price, which suggested that we still have more willing sellers than buyers. As a result, a new supply zone was created at the top. So what I will be looking for during the week is for a pullback into this supply zone and look for a further move to the downside. So this is for a more consecutive target. I still believe that we could further decline. However, by picking such consecutive target, you make sure that your order gets filled. You don't want price reversing few pips away from your target. Now, what I also like about this supply zone is that it also comes at this previous support, which could now become resistance. And so we have confluence with the supply zone and also the structure. Now, again, you could also look at this as a head and shoulder, with this being the left shoulder, the right shoulder, and the head. So nice confluence on the Nasdaq, something to look out for the week. I hope that you have a great week. Cheers.
Good morning, traders. Happy Sunday. Taking a look here at Bitcoin. Last week, we were looking for some reactionary levels to be met. With that, we were sitting roughly in the 10,000 region. We saw a nice $900 move to the upside for some money to be made on the chart. Expecting at that 10.8 level for us to get a reaction. We exceeded it a little bit further, went up here into the 10.9 region before seeing that pullback that we had referenced. So furthermore, with that, we are seeing a lot of wicks being created down here. 10,000 to hold, psychological level. A lot of people probably have money into this region expecting. This is why we're seeing a lot of wicks being created to the downside. We collected orders here to the left, showing you guys what you see on the left is more than likely what you're going to see on the right for big reactions. So sandwich orders sitting sideways here. You guys can see go higher time frame. You can see a little bit more of bulk of the orders to consolidate price, and then furthermore come down, touch it for the first time, reactionary level back up, looking for that 10.8 zone. Furthermore, with that, would not be surprised, like I said, for us to come down here to 8.3. That point, we'll see what we can get as far as reactionary level goes. We could go a little bit further down into the zone, but for me, somewhere in between the midpoint of this major zone. So if you look to the left here, we've touched this order zone multiple times, as you guys know, from the left to the right as reference. Looking to the left here, we came and touched the orders once. We came here, touched the orders twice. Furthermore, orders were created here. We came here, touched it first time. Each time touching the zone for the first time, leading to a huge move to the upside. We were looking for a multitude of scenarios and setups. Make sure to check out the channel because these have been shared, catching the lows, selling the highs, and so forth, to give a very, very high expectation of gain with very, very relative low drawdown. So with that, like I said, guys, always look to the left here. where order is sitting sideways, where would price pierce with a wick? That's where I want to be at. That's where I want to be on the chart. I want to be in an area where price comes to it very quickly, see a reaction, trade away from it, and then furthermore enter a position on that first touch. And then once you enter the position on the first touch, that's going to give you the best scenario for a good risk to reward trade. Looking for price to come and cut into that zone for the first time, expecting at that point to catch a good opportunity. If price started here and then shot all the way up here to 13.8, I could expect that there's enough gas in the move to touch this zone, see a reaction, maybe it's a wick, maybe it comes down to 8.1, and then furthermore, at that point, if price has extended itself from the lows here to the highs here, that is roughly a 84% move. So do I think if price comes down here, people made decision here? This is all in the chart. We see this to the left. It's not simply just because it's candlesticks. It's because people have been buying and selling here. And that's where price is being weighted down at. So if price comes back down into where price took off at and it was weighted down at, and we got an 84% gain, to expect a bounce. Perhaps somewhere up into this 10K region to act as resistance. Right now it's acting as support. So my ideology is this will become resistance at some point. So we'll watch it. Like I said, 19% move, pretty safe in my opinion. And so hope this is helpful for you guys. Hope this Bitcoin analysis has made some sense to you. I hope this analysis has been helpful. Like I said, just to show you guys price action, but to give you guys some nuggets in addition to that for free. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care.